the Renaissance of Wonder or the Age of Wordsworth, and its time period is 1798 to 1850. So, the beginning of Romanticism, it cannot be given a precise date, that it cannot be given a definite date to conclude from where it started. It slowly developed till it came to a head in the year 1798. So, we are gonna learn it from 1798 only. A type of document by Wordsworth and Coleridge, that was a collaboration, lyrical ballads. The work was named by Lyrical Ballads, and it gave a definite shape and direction to this movement of Romanticism. This work, Lyrical Ballads, gave definite shape and direction to the movement of Romanticism, which was written in collaboration by Wordsworth and Coleridge. It was a beginning that was traced back to 18th century. Thomson, Gray and Collins may be called as the precursors of this new movement. Heroic couplet was replaced by the Spenserian stanza and Miltonic blank verse. And in this era of Wordsworth, in this age of Wordsworth, we will find something about love of nature, humanism, lyric, elegiac notes. So these types of trends were going on in the 18th century. Revival of Elizabethan Romanticism. Now, what is the meaning of romantic revival? It is the outburst of literature in the age of Wordsworth. This revival indicates a return to literature of those romantic qualities which had characterized the literature of Elizabethan age. So, as we have studied earlier, the characteristics of Elizabethan literature were unbridled or unbroken imagination, glow of passion and emotion, freedom and power of mind, and much more. And the characteristics of Augustan age were simplicity, clarity, propriety, decorum, moderation, perfect finish, good sense, and reason. So here are some definitions of romanticism by different writers, and like Heine calls it the reawakening of middle ages, a passion flower blooming from the blood of Christ. Victor Hugo defines it as liberalism in literature. Goethe, the poet critic, contrasts romanticism with classicism and says romanticism is disease and classicism is health. So Goethe says that romanticism is disease and classicism is health. Next, George Sand calls it as emotion against reason, and Herford remarks that romanticism stands for liberty of imagination. Moving on to characteristics of romanticism, there comes first love of nature. The poets of romantic age minutely observed nature in all aspects, and they all were lovers of nature. They discovered a new beauty and wonder in the world of nature. Next one is mystery. According to the romantic poets, or we can say according to the romantics, there were more things in heaven and earth than are perceived in the ordinary course of life, and it's this feeling which arouses their curiosity in the unearthly and supernatural things. Third one is interest in the past. So because of the huge chaos going on in the present life, like French Revolution, Industrial Revolution, Science Revolution, or etc., etc., the romantic poets tried to get away from the pressure of present reality. And what they did, they started looking to the past. They went back, especially to the Middle Ages, so that they can find something new. Fourth one is interest in humanity. They took a great interest in humanity and dealt with the lives of common men and women. Their hearts overflow with sympathy for the poor and downtrodden. They focused and glorified the innocence and simplicity of the common man. Fifth one is love for the elemental simplicities of life. For example, an ordinary sunset, a walk over the hills, a cluster of spring flowers, a rain wearing west wind, the song of the nightingale, etc. So, the romantics, they all loved the elemental simplicities of life that were going on around them. Sixth point is freedom of imagination, essential characteristic of romanticism. So, it is the cardinal or the essential characteristics of romanticism. Next is speculative and inquisitive or curious tendency. There was a curiosity in their minds. in the minds of romantics to know more and more. They heightened unsensibility of the imagination and a strong intellectual power. Next one is subjectivity and spontaneity. They were not so much concerned about the external facts of life. So the romantics were not much concerned about the external facts of life that were going on around them. They were only concerned and much more concerned about the feelings, about their own feelings and emotions. And poetry was to them was the spontaneous flow of powerful feelings, and they write their own emotions in their poetry. Last is regeneration of the poetic style. Poetic style acquired a rich variety in the hands of romantics. They tried new and new things and trends that were going on around them, and they applied new techniques to their romanticism process. Their interest in the past led them to experiment with old meters and poetic forms. Heroic couplet, Spenserian stanza, the ballad, blank verse, the lyric, ode, and the sonnet all were revived. A richness in language and variety in metrical forms created a new melody in English poetry.